We're doing music today. Welcome into Let Me Put a List Together along with Brian Mitchell. I am Mark Grote. This is Let Me Put a List Together. Today, check this out. We're going to be doing, ready for this? The top 10 songs with just a girl's name as the title. And I was just informed moments ago that that's the phraseology that we would use. And that was Brian Mitchell who said that. So you just heard the first time that came out of my mouth. How'd I do, Mitch?
I think it was wonderful. I thought it was wonderful. I thought you had good tonality. Mm-hmm. I thought you had good enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm. Conversational, confident.
Yeah, confident. Yeah.
Program directors always say, hey, man, just be yourself. Have fun. But if you have too much fun, then they tell you to stop having that kind of fun or using those words or being political in any way, shape, or form. Just be yourself. Have fun.
That's right. That's right.
And before we get going here in earnest, you should know that our podcasts are released every Tuesday, and we ask you to subscribe to Apple, Spotify. The shows are on YouTube as well, and if you do subscribe, then you will get alerts and notifications, and you will be able to respond and provide feedback. And there are other ways of doing that too, right, Mr. Mitchell?
That's right. We have a listener hotline at 833-PODS-NET. All you have to do is press 8 and put LET, which is Let Me Put Together. That is the first part of the show's name. Or if you want to send us an email, you can reach us at lists@podcastentertainment.com. You can also check out Mark's pages, my pages, also the Let Me Put a List Together Facebook page or Instagram page, all those to get in contact with us. We would love to hear from you. So let us know how we're doing. Give us some show ideas or, just make fun of me. So we're going to go to the random choose-o-meter for our random list of songs with just a girl's name as the title.
Nice.
And that would be Rosanna by Toto, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, Mary Mary by the Monkees, Carrie by Europe, Maggie May by Rod Stewart, Elvira by the Oak Ridge Boys, Roxanne by The Police, and Allison by Elvis Costello. Last week I went first. Mark, you are the man in charge, ready to lay down the first song with just a girl's name as the title.
All right. Number 10, Mary Mary, a song originally done by the Monkees. But I have to admit, I did not realize this song was originally done by the Monkees, because all I speak is, Brian, and I think that you of all people appreciate this, is Mary Mary, why you bugging? And that was Run DMC, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And produced by the great Rick Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, because to me that was the dominant version of that song, at least in my world, and maybe that's not the same with other people. I learned something today that song was originally done by the Monkees. I had to go back and listen to the song. Like, maybe I've heard this before. It was fine, but to me, the signature version of the song was done by Run DMC. Okay. And this song too was actually recorded first by the Butterfield Blues Band in 1966. And guess what? I didn't need to know that. I didn't want to know that, but I do know it, and I just let it go right here on the podcast. But I'm all about the Run DMC version of Mary Mary.
The Monkees, I saw a lot of the reruns. In fact, some of my first records that I had, yes, I did say records or albums, were hand-me-downs from my brother. And this was one of them, like a greatest hits of the Monkees. And you can't get away from Mary Mary, especially if you're watching the TV show. So an interesting tidbit about this is Mary Mary was one of the few songs that was written by the Monkees. And it was written by Michael Nesmith, who was their guitar player. And as you said, it was originally done by his earlier band, the Butterfield Blues Band, in 1966. And then the Monkees covered that. And it had a really cool breakbeat at the beginning. And I'm wondering if that's what turned on Run DMC to this, because of the breakbeat in the beginning. It's just a straight drum, and it's kind of like one of those classic breakbeats. So Mary Mary, I would say that's a good number 10 to start with, and we'll do it as that.
I love it when you talk about breakbeats, though. Okay. That made the whole segment right there. All right, so that's 10. Mr. Mitchell, you have number 9.
All right, I'm going to start, going to go with number 9, and I'm going to say Carrie by Europe. And the reason I say this is because I got to rate it as low as I can because of the glam metal power ballad experience. Originally released by Europe in 1987, Carrie was a power ballad. It was the third release off of their album titled The Final Countdown.
It's the Final Countdown.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get away from that. I mean, that is a super anthem. You know, Carrie's not a bad song. I mean, I think it's actually a well-written song. It's got a great hook to it, and a lot of people go back in time to their, high school dances, and that was probably one of the songs that was played at those high school dances as a slow dance, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that. So, it's the classic hairband power ballad of 1987. That's about it. Power ballad done by Europe, Swedish rock band. After the final countdown, they sold 2 million records, so it can't be too unpopular, right?
It sounds like you're trying really hard to justify this song.
Yeah, I am. Man.
You really are. Like, you were nice, man. You said it's not a bad song. What I would say about this song is it's so cheesy. Okay. I mean, it was even cheesy then. And yes, it probably was used at high school dances, and there is a longingness to the song. You know what I mean? Like the anguish, the begging, the pain, the alternating melody from high to low when they're singing. So it had everything about it. And this, like, I think about Europe, and I know we're not necessarily talking Europe. They're a very dramatic band. Like they're just like with the final countdown and Carrie, like they really wanted to be taken seriously. And I do think that that number 9 is a well placed spot for Carrie by Europe.
All right, so we got number 10, Mary Mary, Carrie by Europe at number 9. So what is number 8 for you, Mark?
Okay, I'm going to go with Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys.
All right.
You want to sing it with me?
No, I don't.
Ba, 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 Barbara Ann. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, that song. You all know that song. And again, this is the last time I'm going to give this type of nugget because for some reason I don't need to hear it, but it was first recorded by the Regents. Okay, fine. In 1987, the group re-recorded the song as, check this out. You ready for this? Here Come the Cubs with, I did not know this, with rewritten lyrics about the Cubs. It became the team's official theme that year, replacing Go Cubs Go. I don't remember that, man.
No,
do you? Because you and I both big Cubs fans growing up.
Nope.
I don't remember that. And quite frankly, if that had been the case, I probably would not have recognized it. So yeah, that I guess I didn't. I learned something about that. It's a great song with a wonderful melody the first time you hear it, it will be stuck in your brain. I don't know who Barbara Ann is, and quite frankly, where are all the Barbara Anns? I don't know anybody in life named Barbara Ann. So, Brian, maybe you could educate me.
Yeah, I'm sure that in 1961 there was a lot of different Barbara Anns, but Barbara Ann's is the guy that wrote it, Fred Fassert. That's his little sister, is Barbara Ann.
Oh, Fred what?
Fred Fassert.
Oh, okay.
Wrote the song about his little sister. So that's Barbara Ann. Now, this one has kind of a personal. My oldest brother was a drummer in a band, and he was a huge Beach Boys fan. So these records were playing like all the time when I was growing up. And this is one of the first songs that I ever learned to sing. Not only that, but to sing on the band's microphone. They let me have the microphone. There's a picture of it, and I'm singing Barbara Ann because it was so easy to sing. Ba, ba, ba. I mean, it's basically using, baby syllables to sing this song. So this was one of the first ones that I learned to sing. So it has a special place in my heart. And not only that, but the Beach Boys. I'm a huge fan of the Beach Boys and that whole sound. So I really enjoy listening to there's like a party version of this song where they're all like talking in the background, and there's one part where he's like, somebody's playing like an ashtray on the microphone, and they're all like laughing and cracking jokes. I definitely like that version of the Barbara Ann.
I prefer the Run DMC version.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
I like that.
Or the Jay-Z version of this song.
Yes, it has the rap break. So
you like the break beats, right?
The break beat, yeah. I like the break beat part in Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys.
So Barbara Ann is going to be number 8. Now we're moving on to number 7, and this is moving rather quickly.
Yeah, come on, man.
So I'm going to say the next one on my list, number 7, is going to be Maggie May, Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart has one of the most interesting voices. If you hear his voice, it's it's instant. You know it's Rod Stewart. But this song is actually telling the story about him being involved as a boy in a relationship with an older woman. And in Q magazine in 2007, he recalled Maggie May was more or less a true story about the first woman I had sex with. Her name was not Maggie May. That was taken from a Liverpool song about a prostitute.
Wow. It's never what you think, these songs, are they?
No. So I'm going to leave it there. I mean, Maggie May, Rod Stewart.
It's a prostitute. Mark, all you.
All you, yeah, dude, because I got nothing for you.
Take it from there. I like this song more than you.
Okay.
I have this song way lower on my personal rankings. It's a song that I discovered in college in the 90s. It was written in the 70s. I discovered it in the 90s, and I could not get enough of this song. Like, I don't like everything Rod Stewart does, but this one, absolutely. Love the melody of the song. Very careful and gentle sounding. She was actually a person that he had sex with that was an older woman.
Yes.
For the very feels like the first. So, yeah, it's I just love the song. I love the melody. Like, it just feels like a great, like, from beginning to end storytelling by Rod Stewart via wonderful melody. So,
do you like that intro, that 30-second like guitar intro?
So, okay, Maggie May, that would be number 7 on our list.
Now we're on to number 6, and that's you.
Okay, now I have to rejigger things here because you screwed up by picking that one so
I know.
high.
Wonderful.
Your lack of respect for Rod Stewart and Maggie. Okay, I'm going to go with Gloria by Laura Branigan.
Okay.
Maybe the most uplifting sounding song on this entire list. Calling Gloria. I just think it's a very fun, again, uplifting song. Then I read about it a little bit further, and it really sounds pathetic, actually. Laura Branigan's Gloria tells the story of a woman named, Gloria, who is in a rush to get a man irrespective of the consequences. She relentlessly puts up a certain appeal to please the men she wants, but is unaware of her desperation, and it is seen by them. Apparently, this woman believes she is very attractive, and as such, every man she meets must be interested in her. Her disposition unknowingly drives men away. So after reading that, I feel bad for Gloria. And I'd be calling her too, like calling Gloria, as they say in the song. I'd sit her down and just be like, give her a hug and say, what's going on here? What's really going on here? Can we talk?
We need some therapy.
There's some therapy, what happened?
Dude. Straight up therapy, dude.
Yeah, talk to me.
Number 6, I guess, is okay. I'm not.
You had it higher?
No, I'm just not a big fan of this song. I think because it was played so much on the radio, just like driven in your brain over and over again. And initially, when it came out in the early 80s, it wasn't even grabbed by radio. I mean, it was kind of unreceptive. And then what happened was it really hit big in the dance clubs, and then it moved to radio. And it was a platinum seller, more than 2 million copies sold, and she was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal. And then, of course, she did have some other hits. I mean, I don't mind Laura Branigan. I mean, now she's passed away. She had a brain aneurysm in 2004.
Yeah, I wanted to bring us down, Brad.
Yeah, that's right. But Gloria, I think, just kind of grates on me and a little overplayed. So I'm going to leave it at your 6 right there.
Okay.
And that's about all I can give on Gloria.
You clearly had her at like 12.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't really make your list. But, hey, the computer gives us what it gives us, and Gloria is it. So that'd be mine.
You know what? I also tied in another Gloria under this, and that was the Gloria by Them, which is written by Van Morrison, the brown-eyed girl, famous Van Morrison. Now, I actually like that Gloria a lot better just because it's the classic garage band anthem. It's only 3 chords. It's dirty. It's dangerous. And the chorus is like crazy memorable because before that, he starts spelling it G-L-O, all right, hey. I mean, that's just like, that's dirty and dangerous and intense. That's the Gloria I prefer rather than the Gloria brand.
That's always been your MO. Dirty, dangerous, and intense. That's Brian Mitchell in a nutshell. Yep.
That's it. Always dirty, never shower.
Yep.
Dangerous.
You're filthy. You're Jabba the Hutt.
I am actually Jabba the Hutt. Exactly. on any type of Zoom call in my bed, Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you look like sidebar, because you just kind of were leaning back and just had this really lazy look about you.
That's right.
Like the angle was very Jabba the Hutt. I was not talking about your body type for the record.
I don't care. You know that when you said that, I almost pissed my pants.
I know. I was just waiting for you to grab a frog out of an aquarium and take it down. Almighty Chewbacca.
I thought it was hilarious, though.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't want you to. I thought about that after we had
No. Everybody, sidebar here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that when, and there's been memes about it where, you have your phone in your hand and you're like laying down or whatever, and you accidentally click over and the camera's facing you. And your face is all kind of like laid down. You got the huge triple chin going there. Like, you look like that. So that's basically what I looked like in the Zoom call because I was laying back.
Oh, yeah. Some of the worst pictures of me that I've taken them. Like sometimes you just want to see what you look like and it laying down on a couch. The chins come out, the fat face, my hair is all receding. It's not a good look. So I'm glad we could talk about this.
Yes. Who needs therapy, dude? We got it here. We're helping Gloria. We're helping ourselves.
Dirty and intense. That's Brian Mitchell.
That's right. All right.
Dirty old bastard.
So number 6 is Gloria. We move to number 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, that's right. Top 5, everybody. Thank you so much. Hey, we got the big pukers in the house, and we're going to be looking for another big song right now. And that, for me, is going to be Elvira. I'm sorry. And that is going to be Elvira. And that is going to be
Elvira.
Hey, Elvira.
Take your time.
I know.
Elvira.
Elvira by the Oak Ridge Boys. Another one that you could not get away from in the summer of 1981. Elvira was everywhere. Originally written by Dallas Frazier in 1966. Wasn't a big hit for him, but the Oak Ridge Boys took it and made it huge. It's a fun song. It's written about a street name, and it's got a cool little swing to it. Everybody loves the little doo-wop part by Richard Sturban, who was the deep vocal bass guy in the Oak Ridge Boys. And sing it with me, Mark. You know what it is. It's
ready?
The Giddy Up.
Wow. Of course I'm messing it up.
Because Mark always gets just a little bit of it right and then just a little bit of it off. 2 million sold. And I would say that that is going to be my number, whatever this is, 5.
That's number 5, buddy.
On the list.
Yeah, I mean, you hit all the big points. I'll add one thing to it. I'll say that this song was very unique in that you didn't have to love country music to love this song. And that is mostly because of said bass singer, Richard Sturman. Because this is a country song. I have still really not come around to country music, but this was a song that crossed over, I think, to all genres. You didn't really think of it as a country song. It felt very gimmicky, this song.
You know what else? It's like Islands in the Stream, sung by 2 pretty prominent country artists, pop song. You didn't think of it that way. So I think Elvira in that same range.
Yeah, I guess you could put down as a pop song or just, like I said, gimmicky. That made it fun for ear candy for everybody. So,
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I like that we're into our top 5, and Elvira cracks the top 5 at number 5.
All right, Mark, hold that thought right there. You're listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Caleb Gardner tweeted, "Can someone please explain Untuck It to me? I just don't understand the positioning. Shirts designed to be worn untucked have existed for a long, long time. Mr. Gardner, respectfully, there's a difference between a shirt that can be worn untucked and a shirt designed to be worn untucked. You could use a leaf blower as a hairdryer.
You can use a shoe as a pillow. But wouldn't you rather have something designed specifically for what you need it for?
Find your shirt today at untuckit.com.
Let us know what you think of this week's list by getting in touch with the show. Email us at lists@podcastentertainment.com or call the PEN listener hotline at 833-763-7638.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Number 4 is my choice, and I am going to go with Allison by Elvis Costello. First of all, this is sort of like, Mitchell, for you weren't down with Gloria. Like, you don't like that song. Mm-hmm. You made it very clear, your hate. I don't hate the song Allison, but I prefer Veronica. And Veronica by Elvis Costello. You know that song, right?
Absolutely.
Did not make the list. I think that it's a better song, and I just prefer the Veronica to Allison. So while I enjoy the song and I respected being on the list, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I will say one thing about Elvis Costello. Is it just me, or is Elvis Costello somebody that everybody knows but is always just a little bit under the radar?
Yeah, I think he's like a best kept secret, and I think that's what makes him so special. And he's kind of like got certain fans, and I think certain people like his style, and he just kind of stays under the radar. And he's not a super pop star. He's just a great songwriter and a great rock and roller, I guess you could say. In the 2015 biography, it's called Unfaithful Music and Disappearing Ink, he wrote that he always told people Allison was written after seeing a beautiful checkout girl in a local supermarket. And this is what he said: she had the face for which a ship might have once been named.
Huh?
Now she's just punching in the prices of canned beans at the cash register and looking as if all the hopes and dreams of her youth were draining away.
Wait, so she's like the Santa Maria or the Pinta or the
No, she's the Allison.
The Nina? Like, I don't know. Like that. Yeah. None of this sounds good. So none of it sounds good.
That was the motivation for this song.
Okay. All right. Well, somehow that song made it into as number 4 on our list. Hope you enjoyed that breakdown, folks. Brian, try to do better on number 3 for us.
Okay. And number 3 is going to be a radio classic by one of the great bands of the 80s, and that's Toto.
Nice.
With Rosanna. Originally, Rosanna, they told the story that this was written about Steve Porcaro's girlfriend at the time, who was Rosanna Arquette, the famous movie actress. But he actually, David Page, the songwriter of this, wrote this about numerous girls that he had known. So Rosanna Arquette just kind of went in on the joke, and she started at interviews. She would just sit there saying that, this song is about me, and it's about, taking care of the band at the sessions, and none of that was true.
Good for her. Yeah. Just roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. So another great part of this is that if you're a drummer or you love drums, this has the classic Steve Porcaro Rosanna shuffle in it. What was kind of a jazz influence, and it was also kind of influenced by John Bonham, the great drummer of Led Zeppelin's Fool in the Rain. So he kind of took a mix of that, and you can hear that kind of shuffle, that da-doom, 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 da-doom. That's
nice.
That is Rosanna, Steve Porcaro, John Bonham inspired shuffle.
Very cool.
That groove definitely makes this song. And it's also just a really fun song to sing. It gets in your head. And I love Toto because they were a huge studio band before they collectively came together. And they've done all kinds of songs, not only just with them, but some of the guys actually wrote for Michael Jackson's Thriller. In fact, Steve Lukather wrote Human Nature by Michael Jackson. He was one of the songwriters on the Thriller album, also played guitar on there. So that's a sidebar. But Rosanna is going to be number 3 on our top list of songs with just a girl's name as the title.
I was rooting for you, man.
I know, dude. I was trying to find it. Top songs with just a girl's name as the title.
Yes. You got it. All right. So you did a great job of laying out the John Bonham rhythm. And you're right. That is the persistent rhythm throughout, and it makes the song. However, the trajectory of this song that I like the best is where it's very serious and soft about Rosanna. Then it crescendos to a higher chord. Then the dramatic horn section with the trombones and the set. Beat you all the way.
Yeah, it's almost like a little doo-wop thing. It's like,
yes.
Yeah, dude, I forgot that little breakdown. Wow.
Beat you all the way.
Hit me in the face.
Oh man!
Wow, thank you for bringing that up, man. I was just all entangled with the actual Toto people.
I know.
Man, you brought the song alive for me.
Oh, it's like, yeah, and I even went back and watched the video, and you got it's double trombones with a saxophone in the middle. It's just glorious, that part of the song. So but you pretty much nailed the rest of it, and I think that I'm very comfortable with that being number 3 on the list.
All right. So Rosanna, number 3. Quick recap. Number 10, Mary Mary. Number 9, Carrie. Number 8, Barbara Ann. Number 7, Maggie May. Number 6, Gloria. Number 5, Oak Ridge Boys. Number 4, Allison. Number 3, Rosanna. Now, Mark, we got the top 2. So what do you got?
All right. For number 2, I'm going to go Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. And putting it simply, this is one of the greatest songs of all time. I don't care what you listen to or what your genre is or what your style is. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, one of the greatest songs of all time. And I think that most of us who are of a certain age, we have learned what this song is about. And the lyrics describe a woman, Billie Jean, who claims that I am the one, who claims that the narrator is the father of her newborn son, which she denies. But the more interesting part is that Jackson said the lyrics were based on groupies' claims about his older brothers, Tito, when he toured with them as the Jackson 5, when Michael Jackson was just a precious little boy who was the most talented of the group. But it's just a great song with an interesting, that I remember that, and there was the first time that I was like interested in the backstory of a song, because usually when you're young and like junior, you don't really give a crap what a song is about. Do I like the lyrics? Do I like the melody? And that's really all that matters. But with that song, I wanted to know more about it. But it's Billie Jean is a great song, no matter what the list is.
This song, number 1, is about, as you said, a deranged fan, deranged, and she would like send them letters about that she loves him and wanted to be with him, and how could you ignore your own flesh and blood. And Michael said that these letters disturbed him enough that he suffered from nightmares from him. So kind of crazy in that particular instance. I mean, yeah, if you're getting all these letters saying, hey, we had babies together and, this person's going to come over and stalk you and kill you.
Yeah.
But
you know what I would do if that happened? I would make a song about it.
I would too. And I'd put an incredible dance bass line in it that grooved the hell out of me and just made me want to dance. And when you hear that bass line, you know that is Michael Jackson. Everybody gets up. We start dancing because of that groovy bass line that starts at Billie Jean.
Sidebar. Yeah. We have to totally do a top 10 Michael Jackson songs list. Have we done that?
No.
All right.
No.
Put that down. Mark that down.
All right, I will. Yeah, top 10 Michael Jackson or top 13, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, this song, and not only that, but let's even look a little bit deeper. This was one of the first times that a black artist was on MTV, because Billie Jean broke that whole barrier of black people not being on MTV. And once Billie Jean came out, it was over. Michael owned it. Prince owned it. A lot of different black artists owned MTV after that. So
it was like, all right, Duran Duran, Hall & Oates, you guys are going to have to kind of hang out in the background for a little while because we got this really talented guy named Michael Jackson.
No, it really was. I mean, they had like this, MTV was set up and it just played white artists because, you know, not only were they in New York and in LA, they were also in the middle of Tennessee. And they were afraid that if you put black people on TV, it's going to scare the hell out of the racist people across the country.
We're just horrible. We really are. Like, I didn't know that.
That is honestly true.
I guess I was an ignoramus when I was in junior high too, because I didn't even notice that.
Well, I mean, we're talking about 1983, and there's a great interview that Mark Goodman did with David Bowie, and they're talking about MTV and stuff like that, and David Bowie brings up that exact thing, going, you know what? There's a lot of great black music out there. Why is it not on MTV? And that is the response that Mark Goodman gave to David Bowie. And David was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, wow.
And CBS actually was going to hold their other artists because Michael was on Epic CBS. And they told MTV, we're not giving you any videos to play unless you play this. And that's how Michael Jackson got on. So, great move by them. Michael Jackson, of course, became a superstar. He had an MTV award named after him as the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award.
Yeah.
That's how much he took over MTV. So,
yep, and he had prolific videos, man.
Oh, man.
His videos were like theatric.
Forget it. It was like releasing movies. That's the excitement. Like releasing a Star Wars film or a Jaws film. That's how big Michael Jackson video releases were back then.
Yeah, I'll never forget when Thriller came out, like the anticipation of that and then the length of it. It was just crazy.
And not only that, but just how great it was. The dancing, the everything. I mean, we could go on and on about Michael Jackson, but...
Yes. Well, we've got a future podcast, folks. Michael Jackson fans, and really everybody kind of likes Michael Jackson. Maybe not his behavior, but the music is undeniable.
Yeah, absolutely. So Billie Jean is number 2.
All right, quick break. You are listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Enjoying this podcast? Be sure to check out all the other PEN podcasts by visiting www.podcastentertainment.com. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Some guys go through life thinking, do I smell right now? So Harry's makes 3 levels of protection for the way you sweat. For the light sweaters, the medium sweaters, and the heavy sweaters. Because we all deserve to go through life with our wings up. Introducing the range of deodorants from Harry's. Not the same.
Some have to tell you about how fast they are, about narrow escapes, or who you just won't believe they've ridden with. Others prefer to let the bike do all the talking. The new 9T from BMW.
Get in touch with the show through the PEN listener hotline at 833-PODS-NET. That's 833-763-7638.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together with Mark and Brian.
Number 1 is, as you know, because you know what's left, is Roxanne by the Police. And this is a number 1. I'm sorry. This chorus, the singing, the lyrics, the content, everything makes this a great song. And I don't know, I think we've talked about this, but I am a huge Police fan. When they came into Wrigley, I went and saw both shows. I was pulling up Pearl Jam Mark.
Dumbass, we went to that show together.
We did? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did.
Jesus. I went to see the Police. I went both. You went with your boy Grote and Kevin Gross. Remember? He was singing all the songs before.
But the thing is that I went the next night because you had me because I'm a seat snob, you had me in the seats and I needed to be on the field. So I went the next day and
total seat snob. Always been. Since I've known you, you've been, whether it's in a restaurant or at a ballpark, you're a pain in the ass.
I know,
man.
I am. Serve me. That's what
I'm Jabba the Hutt. Serve me.
Give me some frogs.
Yeah. Mighty Chewbacca.
So the song is about a man who falls in love with a prostitute.
Oh, geez, you and the prostitutes.
I'm telling
man.
you, all the songs are written about prostitutes, it seems like. But it's all about, hey, you don't have to do this, honey. You should find another job. Please don't go out and prostitute because I love you and you don't need to do this. Now, Sting got the idea of walking through the red light district in Paris, and that is where he saw prostitutes for the first time. He was thinking about, okay, what would it be like if you fell in love with one of these ladies that work the streets? And that's kind of how this all came out. This came at a time where they released a song called Fallout, and it didn't do that well, and they really needed a hit. So they went to their manager, Miles Copeland, who was Stuart Copeland, the drummer's brother, and he listened to all their songs that they were going to put together, and he thought that this one had the most promise. Even though it was a little darker, it just really had a good concept to it, and he felt it had teeth. So they made this song and released it. It didn't hit right away. It took a year or two to gain some steam, and it ended up 32 on the top 100. So it wasn't a huge hit. It then moved up to number 12 in 79 after a year it was released. So it started to move up.
I would say that along with Michael Jackson, that these two, there's a good debate over who's the best artist on this list. I too love the Police, even though you don't remember going to see the Police with me and another friend of ours. But that's totally cool. One of the most memorable usages of the song Roxanne is from 48 freaking Hours, the movie with Nick Nolte and with Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy at the top of his lungs is sitting in the jail with his Walkman headphones on saying, Roxanne, and just singing that song. I think it's actually how the movie opens. And if you remember 48 Hours, that was like big time movie. And it was just when Eddie Murphy was getting all the roles. It was him at his peak for sure. And so I think that song got a lot of attention because of that. But that definitely reminds me of that song. It's definitely not I don't know if Roxanne would make my top 10 necessarily of Police songs, probably just because of the overplayage factor of it and the simplicity of it as well. You know, it's just him screaming Roxanne. I like the song, but it's not like top 10 for Police. But for our purposes of this list, it is definitely ranked very low, as in good, on my list.
You know, something that I didn't find out until much, much later after listening and just doing research even before this, but I knew this was kind of a cool tidbit. So if you listen to the intro of Roxanne, you'll hear him laughing at the beginning. Do you remember? It goes,
no.
Okay, well, there is him laughing at the beginning. The reason why he's laughing is that if you listen really close, in the studio, when they were recording his vocals, there's an upright piano. And Sting accidentally sat on the piano, and he thought the lid was closed. It was actually open. So he sat on the keys, and it played like this weird, mix of keys. And then he started laughing, and they kept that in the intro. So next time you hear Roxanne, listen to the intro. You'll hear him sitting on the piano, and then you'll hear him laugh at that. So
maybe once I hear that, it'll move into my top 10 Stings or Police songs.
Absolutely. All right, man. So number 1 for us is going to be Roxanne by the Police. So that's the list we built for the top 10 songs with Just a Girl's Name as the title. Mark, what is your personal list? I'd like to hear this.
Here's the way I rank the top 10 songs with Just a Girl's Name as the title. I had at number 10, Mary Mary. Number 9, Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys. 8, I had Carrie. Number 7, Gloria. Number 6, Allison. Number 5, Rosanna. I think it's funny that I'm just naming names. Number 4, Elvira. Number 3, Roxanne. Number 2, Billie Jean. And I had for number 1, Maggie May by Rod Stewart.
Okay, all right, Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart.
Stewart.
All right, for me, number 10, Carrie by Europe. Number 9, Maggie May by Rod Stewart.
Oh.
Number 8, Elvira by the Oak Ridge Boys. Number 7, Mary Mary by the Monkees. Number 6, Gloria by Laura Branigan and them. Number 5, Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys. Number 4, Allison by Elvis Costello. Number 3, Rosanna by Toto. Yeah, that's it. Take me all the way. All right, number 2, Billy. It's, of course, wrong lyrics, but that's okay. Number 3, Rosanna by Toto. Number 2, Billie Jean and Michael Jackson. And number 1, Roxanne by the Police.
Oh, man, that was fun. I don't know. I'm sure, and we can leave this up to the audience and their input, which we always appreciate. I'm sure there's like 50 other songs that could be eligible for this list. There are so many songs with a name in the title, a girl's name in the title.
The thing was, though, I think we just wanted just names because there's like Oh Sherry. You know, there's like
Steve Perry,
and then Along Comes Mary. You know, there's like all these songs with women's names in the title. We just wanted one name.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
yeah,
we didn't want any.
We
of the
accomplished
extra.
it.
Yeah, I think we did accomplish it. All right. Hey, if you want to send us an email, we have a new email address. It's lists@podcastentertainment.com. Also, please check us out on all of our social media at letmeputalisttogether.com. You can also check out Mark's pages, my pages. We're all over Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Is that it? Are we good?
I think so. I think that is all.
All right, man.
buddy.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Let Me Put a List Together. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
Enjoying this podcast? Be sure to check out all the other PEN podcasts by visiting www.podcastentertainment.com.
Let us know what you think of this week's list by getting in touch with the show. Email us at lists@podcastentertainment.com or call the PEN listener hotline at 833-763-7638.